All right. So it is 4:05, so I think we should get started. So hello everyone. Welcome to the section today. Hey, so welcome. So this is the very first section that it is the very first section from the initiative between AGSC, Atlanta Global City Center, and UFS, and we are very excited about this work to promote the work of Luso Brazilian studies, and especially we learn about the cultural studies, and we have a fabulous name called Talking Brazilian. So we have the very first speakers today, Paulo Boa Sorte is an associate professor of TESOL and education at the UFS, and he holds the PhD in applied linguistics from the Botanical Catholic University um, of Sao Paulo. He's also a Fulbright scholar at the University of Michigan in 2017 and University of Miami 2019 and 2020. So the talk today, we're gonna talk about the culture of higher education in Brazil. And would you like me to read the abstract, or would you like to take the stage from here, Paulo?
Sorry, I was having trouble with the microphone.
No worry, no worry.
It's
So I
fine.
guess the stage is yours. So you can continue with the presentation, and then we can have some of the moments for the audience to ask the question at the end.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much.
much, Keith.
The
Thank you
stage
for
is
your
yours.
presentation. Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. And I would like to greet everybody who's watching us. And I'm really happy for this initiative between AGSC and Federal University of Sergipe, which is UFS, Universidade Federal de Sergipe in Brazil. So my talk, this is the first talk in Brazilian. This is the first series of our cultural studies seminar series, and the title is The Culture of Higher Education in Brazil. So first, I would like to introduce this series, which we call Talking Brazilian. It's a partnership, as I told you, between AGSC and UFS. From this month on, we are having monthly Brazilian cultural seminars, and we will take turns to invite speakers for this event. So now it's September. I'm starting off here from Brazil. Next month, there will be a guest who is invited by GSU, and then in November, a guest invited by UFS, and so on and so forth. We are going to address topics related to Brazilian culture, language, society, and any other relevant topics. And for now, English is the main language, but we intend, who knows, maybe in the future to do it also in Portuguese. And I'm focusing today on exploring the culture of higher education in Brazil. So may I start? This was just an introduction to our seminar. I'd like to start showing a little bit of the city and the state I am right now. This is the map of Brazil. Sergipe is the smallest state in Brazil, but don't be fooled. This is the best place to live in Brazil. No bias. It is located in the northeastern region of the country. It is known for its rich history, beautiful coastline, vibrant cultural traditions. Let me show you some pictures. This is the state capital, Aracaju. It offers a mix of urban development, natural beauty, with scenic beaches and relaxed atmosphere. Sergipe's economy is based on agriculture, oil, especially tourism, and it is famous for its local crafts, festivals, its cuisine. So despite its size, Sergipe plays an important role in Brazilians' culture and economic landscape as well. It is a wonderful place to live. We have warm weather all year round. Like I was telling you yesterday, Ethan, the temperatures range from 70 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, which translates to 21 to 34 degrees Celsius. No more, no less than that. So No surprises concerning the weather. We don't really pay attention to the weather forecast here because it's always almost the same. So let me show you more pictures. These are some pictures from our central campus, which is in the city of São Cristóvão. It is Aracaju metropolitan area, like 5 to 10 minutes from Aracaju. Our university offers 163 undergraduate courses, 63 graduate programs, which include 59 master programs and 26 PhD programs. We also have a university affiliated school with junior high and high school. It has approximately 30,000 students and a total of 1,800 faculty members. And it's not considered a very big. We have bigger universities here in Brazil. Let me give you an overview of higher education in Brazil. When I was a Fulbright scholar at the University of Michigan and University of Miami, I had a hard time understanding how higher education in the United States works. So that's because it is quite different from our system here. As basic structure, we have public and private universities, but here in Brazil, our understanding of public and private is very, very different. When we say that it's public, it means that it is free of charge, tuition free, no loan, no debt. Students do not pay a penny to study. Obviously, it's not easy to enter these universities, but even if your K-12 education was not so good, to prepare you for entrance exams, there are affirmative actions, which I'll explain a little bit more afterwards. Besides federal universities, we also have federal institutes of education, science, and technology, which are also free of charge to everyone. And besides offering undergraduate and graduate studies, it also offers high school and vocational studies. For example, information technology, vocational studies on electronics technician, agricultural technician, hospitality, tourism, and many others. Currently, I have the number here. There are 314 units of federal universities in Brazil and 682 units of federal institutes. And President Lula has just announced the addition of 100 new campuses, and the federal network will now have almost 800 units in Brazil. So we are actually talking about 2.2 million students enrolled in public universities in Brazil, where they earn their degrees tuition free. And let me talk about the characteristics of public universities. They are highly competitive, not only because they offer free education, but also due to their reputation for high quality teaching, high quality research. Around 95% of Brazilian scientific research is conducted at public universities, where faculty members are among the most qualified in the country. These institutions attract students aiming for excellence, both in academic and research fields, making them a top choice for higher education in Brazil. As I told you, the competition is extremely high. Just to give you an example, in 2023, approximately 3.5 million students took the exam, while around 25,000 seats were made available for admission. So popular and high demand courses in Brazil, I don't know if it's the same in the United States, but medicine, engineering, dentistry, law, and after the pandemic, psychology. There's also a possibility of studying private universities here in Brazil. So tuition depends on the course. The most prestigious courses, such as medicine, for example, you have to pay the equivalent to $2,500 a month. There are cheaper courses like business administration. Tuition starts at $80, depending on the university. But we have affirmative action policies. And the affirmative action policies, they ensure that not only privileged white individuals benefit from access, affirmative actions for public universities in Brazil They are designed to promote social inclusion, racial inclusion by ensuring greater access to higher education for underrepresented groups. The most prominent initiative was the quota law implemented in 2012 by our former president Dilma Rousseff. This law, it mandates that federal universities reserve certain percentage of seats for students from public schools, with further subcategories based on a racial identity, for example, socioeconomic status. Let's take a look at the percentages that I have here. So for public school students, a minimum of 50% of all seats must be reserved for students who completed high school in public schools. When it comes to socioeconomic quotas, within 50% reserved for public school students, a portion is designated for students from low-income families, those with per capita family equal to or less than 1 time the minimum wage. And we also have the racial quotas. The law also requires that the racial composition of the quota seats, both for low and middle income students, should reflect the racial demographics of the state where the university is located. Of course, the conceptions of race and ethnicity is a little bit different from the ones in the United States. For example, in the United States, I am Latino, and here in Brazil, I'm considered to be a white male. And the racial quotas include Black, Indigenous, and mixed race students. And also have reserved seats for people with disabilities. And in recent weeks, some federal universities have started approving quotas for trans individuals. I believe all federal universities will do that in the near future. And about our classes and our academic year, in Brazil, the academic year typically starts in February or March and runs until November or December, depending on the institution. There's no such thing as distinction between school year and calendar year like in the United States. So 2024 started February and ends November, December 2024. And we divided into 2 semesters, each lasting around 4 to 5 months, with a short break between them, usually in July, depending on strikes that we have. Sometimes it is in August, sometimes in December. And we have our summer vacations, December, January, and February, when it's summer in the Southern Hemisphere. There's no such thing as breaks in the middle of the term. So there's no spring break, fall break, or any other breaks. We just go straight to finishing the semester. And classes in Brazilian universities are generally held from Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, with some programs offering night classes to accommodate working students. So there's class from 6 or 7 p.m. until 10 to 11 p.m. And then working students are accommodated at these courses. And coursework includes lectures, seminars, practical activities, assessments with often culminate in final exams, and mostly project presentations as well at the end of each semester. And what about the structure of our courses? This was the major and minor thing in the United States. I had a hard time understanding because of our system, our structure here, which is completely different. The undergraduate courses, which we call graduação, we call it graduation, the undergraduates here, and they are divided into bachelor's, licentiate, and technologist degrees. These programs typically last 3 to 6 years and focus on professional and academic training. In Brazil, there's no distinction between major and minor, as seen in US universities. Instead, students enroll in a specific degree program, such as Bachelor of Law, Bachelor of Medicine, Licentiate of Geography, which focuses on a single area of study. We also have dentistry, which we do not need to do like medical school first. We have 5 years for becoming dentists here in Brazil. Another example, bachelor's in business administration. It lasts typically 4 years. If we talk about licentiate, which is the course that I teach here in Brazil, we have licentiate in letras, which is equivalent to languages, but it encompasses a Portuguese language, a modern language like English, French, Spanish, and their literatures. So it's important to say that in Brazil, teachers do not receive a state-specific teaching certification. Instead, when we complete our licentiate degree, we are awarded a diploma that qualifies us to teach anywhere in the country. This national certification system allows teachers to work across all Brazilian states without needing additional state-based licensing. Our diploma grants us the legal right to teach at the level corresponding to our degrees. So if I take a course to teach geography, I have to teach geography, not math, not history, not English. So if you are a licentiate, you can teach K-12. For teaching at universities, you have to become a professor. You need either master's or a doctorate, depending on the university. Mostly private universities, they ask for masters, but federal universities, we are mostly doctors. And the technologist in information technology, for example, it is shorter, like 2 to 3 years career focused. So we have, for example, fashion schools, culinary arts, cosmetology, they are considered technologists, and they last very 2 to 3 years. And concerning postgraduate studies, they are divided into two main categories. We have lato sensu and stricto sensu. Lato sensu includes specializations, MBAs. They last 1 to 2 years, no more than 2 years, and they are designed to provide specific professional skills and knowledge. These are students who are usually professionals and who are on the job market, and they need to deepen their skills in another area of expertise inside their own areas of expertise. Whereas stricto sensu, they refer to master's programs, which typically last 2 years, and PhD or doctoral programs, which last 4 years. They focus specifically on research and advanced academic studies. And in Brazil, unlike the US, a master's degree requires the student to develop, qualify, and defend a thesis. It is mandatory regardless of the university. Directly moving from undergraduate degree to a PhD is not common here, and it only occurs through specific calls, which are super rare. Typically, students must complete a master's degree before applying for a PhD. So this structure progression, it ensures that students gain solid research experience before pursuing more advanced doctoral studies. They do not learn to do research only when they get to the PhD. They have to do that before getting to the PhD. And both categories are often funded by government scholarships through agencies like CAPES, CNPq, which support students engaged in research and as well as development. Let's take a look at our dining options. This is very curious as well. Brazilian university restaurants, they are known as RUs or resuns, restaurantes universitários. They offer affordable meals to students, to staff and faculty. These dining facilities are often assisted by the university to ensure that students from various economic backgrounds can access healthy, balanced meals at low cost, which is equivalent to 30 cents per meal. They typically serve lunch and dinner with a focus on simple, nutritious food, including rice, beans, meat, fruit, juice, and vegetables. There are also vegetarian options, and the low prices and wide availability make these restaurants an essential part of student life at federal universities across Brazil. And if US citizens would like to spend some time in Brazil, English Teaching Assistant Awards are an option. So these recently graduated students from the US, they cooperate with Brazilian faculty members and are under supervision while taking over some responsibilities such as conducting conversation classes, creating teaching materials, and developing workshops and projects related to English as a foreign language. And I was checking Fulbright website. They offer monthly maintenance of $1,000, relocation allowance of $1,000 as well. They also pay for international round trip United States, Brazil, and they cover accident and sickness, the coverage that they have.
Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the presentation today. Um, we are going to come up with the topic of the next seminar, and we hope that we will continue to think about some sort of exciting projects or like speech that focus and highlight and elaborate Portuguese language, but also Brazilian cultures as well. Um, so we are very excited about that, and we look forward to our future collaboration and seminar. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, and we will close the section today. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.